Hello, you are at Mumus Art, and today I'm going to show you how to make 9 heads with a 3/4 view. So, first everything starts with finding a good resolution photo, and it needs to be well adjusted to A4 so that you are going to make it faster and easier. So, the difference about 3/4 view is that it contains perspective. What I mean is, you are not able to see the whole body in the same manner. Some part you see it bigger because it is closer to you, and some part you are not seeing completely clearly. Like in this case, you can see that like waist is okay, but when it goes to the top part, you see only some part of the breast on the one side, but the other one is totally seenable from the muscles and the peak points. And about the hip, still you see one side a little bit bigger than this one. So, as usual, we have to be caring about what we do in this stage. Basically, you have to try to feel all the body parts separately. You can think about yourself as if you are a butcher. So, top part, cut, lower part, cut, legs separate, and arms separate, but they are also connected, so the movement lines are affecting the whole body. For this reason, you have to take your time and try to understand the body. But about the balance line, in the middle, you can aim either the half of the face or the half of the body. Both of them are correct. This is just a guideline, as I repeat many times, but it's a necessary one so that you can make all your calculations in your mind in a faster way. Because you have a very good brain, which is able to calculating everything much better if you give a comparison. So, this balance line is basically a comparison line, a guideline. So, it is important that when you try to draw the fingers, you have to chop them from the joints. So, make sure that you make nearly rectangular sticks. Only the end of that stick is slightly curved. So this is what a finger is. But all joints act separately. But they have a rhythm together. So you can check with your own hands, or you can do with lots of observations. But what is important is you have to take your time. So the biggest part is the hip part. But when you try to draw the line, don't draw it for drawing's sake. So it is a little bit higher than crotch, and it is the fullest part. If you need, take your time and open the page. And about the legs, you can see that now the center is slightly to the side. Why? Because she turned. That's why we are not drawing those circles for drawing purpose. We try to understand where is the center, and you have to take into consideration about finding the real center of it. About the muscles, shapes are not that important. It is like a stick for now. You can change it about molding. Here, because she is using some bolts, you will see that you are not able to see the ankle very much, but still it is obvious where it is. And here, don't forget that this is platform shoes, so when you draw it, be sure that you also draw the platform. The toes are always in the inside of the leg, so it will be a better idea because you are going to use it for multiple purpose. So, I show the toe. Maybe you are going to make an open sandal. This way, you can draw whatever you want in a very easier way. If you are not so sure about how to draw, make a line, then combine the fingers like that. The toe is the biggest one. And after that, now I have a good body analysis. A body analysis should have a balance line in between. Then, what was our motto? Chin to one, line to line. You can speak like a Chinese. Chin to one, line to line. So, it's going to be more fun to remember it. Why we are putting the chin to one? Because we are using the chin as a stabilization point, let's say. Then, very important, after you draw the head, it is literally like the size of the face. You have to put the hairline immediately, otherwise you forget. And you add hair on top of it, so literally you are not making. This baby is a little bit big. So, first what you need to check was the crotch. So, you can make a guideline about, like, it should be something like 0.5 to 0.7 below level 4. Then, this is important. That distance of the crotch to the balance line should be same when you are making it higher. This is the tricky part. It is the same thing with the knees. So basically, when you are trying to draw a 9 head, we are obeying the body itself. And if you want to raise the bust, we have to raise it parallel. So, when the crotch is going to be on line, then check about the breasts. It should be around level 2. And as you know, this is a grid of 3 by 3 centimeter, which is long as 9. That's why we call it 9 head. So, because it is 3/4 view, sometimes you may have difficulty about the centimeter. Because sometimes you can play with it a little bit, especially for the shoulders. But basically, as you see, I'm keeping the same amounts. So, shoulder 4, waist 2.4 or 2.5, but I'm taking the excess on the same movement line from each end. This is the important part. And I'm not drawing the breasts before I do the spine. This is the spine. And you see, I made it completely parallel. How much difference you take for the crotch, you can apply the same way. Or at least you can apply, and if it doesn't look very good on your mind, you can apply accordingly. It is very important that you make all these calculations on the same, how can I say, line shape. Because if it is straight, it's not going to count the same way. So you have to follow the body lines. Here now, I can make the breast a little bit smaller, but their distance to the spine should be similar. And if you are not so sure if you are doing both breasts in the same manner, make a guideline like I did it. And here, if there were ribs, it's supposed to be here. Don't forget that the waist is totally with muscles. There is no bone inside, so it is more flexible. That's why some of us have bigger tummies. Here, another trick for you guys. Keep the straightest leg and find the center. Then move it to 1 centimeter below 6. So I made a guideline. Around level 6, I come 1 centimeter below. I made a guideline, and then I moved the center to that place. I do the same thing for the ankles. That means 1 centimeter below 9, I made a line, and from the center I made it. It is much more easier if you move first the top part of the leg and move the other one, and then make the lower part in a separate way. But it depends on a person. I can do both ways, so whichever you like, they're all okay. Maybe you want to do one leg in total first, then you want to go on another one. But it is always easier to balance when you do top parts separate and lower parts separate, but they should be on the same line. And I realized that using paper weights is much more handier than having sellotapes, so it helps you. I also draw the line about the bones, as you see. Here, I dropped the center. If you didn't do the center, do it. But center doesn't necessarily be on the center. It can be slightly off the center, but according to the bone structure where it's supposed to be, you do. How much to balance line? I apply the same. But this time, I'm diminishing the size of the ankles to half centimeter. Why? Because nobody wants to have big ankles. It doesn't look very aesthetic. But these are just general terms. You can do whatever you want after a while. If you want to have big bones, no problem. Here we are showing you the very basics. Then I'm going to keep that line, but first I need to make some adjustments. So this time I'm keeping the shoes or feet in the last part. I think I'm getting bored, but it's always much better to find what is working for you and to keep the same procedures in the same manner for you now. So this part is important. Now I need to make those arms smaller. Why? Because they are totally related to the crotch, but it is perfectly well if you keep the line, so chin to one parallel line. So you move the body until you make that hand reaching the body, touching the body. This is also a fun way to do it. It is the very easiest way to do it, but you can also check how much you take it out, and you can take from there, but this is very important. Now my joints should be smaller, so I'm making the movement lines first about the fingers. Then you can check the hand size with the face. It should be around the same size. That means in this case it is something close to 2.5. Because everybody likes long fingers, but nobody likes small feet. So feet can be slightly bigger than face, but still it shouldn't be very small. So you have to work with like chop, chop, chop. That means from limb to limb you have to go. Here I'm checking, because with your eye you can make it. I made it a little bit thinner and I didn't play with the line. Here what you can do is you can make whatever deduction you want to do by using the body underneath. Make it parallel, keeping it higher. So at the end of the day, you should be having a figure like that with all the bones, all the joints. After that, you can put the muscles on. Thank you very much for watching.